I am so pumped and excited because one of the problems we've had in real estate for a long period of time is the data. I'd ring more people if I had their name and their number. You're driving past a property, you see it, it's an expired listing opportunity, it's a absentee owner, you go on a CoreLogic, you can't find any details, and you just get distracted, and then what happens is you don't call it. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I'm obsessed about data. Make data your best friend. And over the next 30 minutes, you're going to be introduced to a secret weapon. And I don't say that in a salesy commission breath way. I say it because I want to let you know I've had clients for many months say, Tom, don't tell other people about iD4me. Don't tell them. We want to have this competitive advantage while it lasts. I gave those people, they were my VIP clients, pretty much a 3-month advantage. But the time has come up now for me to share it to everyone else. And you're going to learn about this in the next 30 minutes. I've got with me the founder, and he's going to talk a little bit about it. Danny, how you going?
Very good, thank you.
Danny's just come back from overseas, and we've got him. How's the jet lag, Danny? It's all right, or it's still there?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Probably 10%. Feeling 10%? Okay. Feeling okay.
It's been, I think, 24, 48 hours since you've come back.
Yep.
Danny, we started talking a couple of, maybe about 2 months ago, or just maybe even 6 weeks ago. And what was happening, I had certain clients, including Mark Simboli from Bell, who was saying to me, Tom, this is just unbelievable. Then I shared it with a few of my VIP clients and my Gym Plus clients, and they said, Tom, I'm telling you, this thing here is amazing. I'm getting names of people that I can chase that I had no idea would be as easy as this. So, Danny, maybe in your words, what is iD4me?
Look, iD4me is a data set that we've compiled over 30-something years, which is it enables a user to go in and reverse search an address or a mobile number, an email, a name, a whole street, etc. So it was used predominantly from the collections industry when it was first invented. So basically, it's there to sort of give you intelligence on a consumer, so you can understand where they're from, who lives with them, their age, where they work, a whole lot of different details.
Okay. And you've been working with real estate agents this year. A lot of agents this year
Correct.
have jumped on because they see the value of being able to find people and their contact details.
Correct.
What sort of feedback are you getting from real estate agents at the moment, Danny?
We're getting great feedback. So, we've been working with, Rain and Horn elite groups, and we've been working with Bell Property, et cetera, for a while. Some of the Ray-wide agencies. Look, they love the product because it's allowing them to get listings that they normally wouldn't get. So they could go, they can look at a property that's been there for a long time, and they know that someone, may be ready to sell, et cetera. And then they didn't know how to get in contact with that person, or they couldn't get the details. And then they're going on to iD4me, they're pumping in the address, they're finding the owner, and they're able to get listings. Okay. So really, predominantly they're using it as a prospecting tool, but also to understand more about a customer.
Okay, so they're using it for 2 reasons. Number one, a prospecting tool to contact the person and to get an appointment. And the second thing is to get a better understanding of a client that they're dealing with, because there's an array of information. Craig Missel has just asked a question. Can this be used in the Melbourne market? So can it be used in Melbourne? It
can be used Australia-wide. Australia-wide. We've also got some New Zealand data, but we're not as rich in New Zealand as we are in Australia. So we've got agents from every corner of Australia using it.
Have a look here. iD4me. It is a web-based business. So tell me what you've got there, Danny.
So we just put my mobile number in it. So we'll start off with my details, which is probably because of the privacy, et cetera. It's, you'd rather search myself, and we can do some other searches later. And if you put my mobile number in it, immediately shows you where I've been and who I am, basically. There's a date range at on the right-hand side, which sort of gives you the accuracy of the date. So the last time they saw me in 2018, I was at 12 Yew Hill Road in North Balwyn, which I used to own.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that I'm there now, but if you drop down the box there, it shows you the actual property. You can actually do a street map view.
Yes.
Street view on it too, so you can actually see the property. So look, if you're not going past that property as an agent and you want to look at what sort of properties are within that area and the price range and what sort of caliber people, then you can have a look at the neighbouring properties, etc. They're all worth $3.5–4 million, whatever. It just gives you a bit of an insight into the person that you want to contact or the person you're contacting.
What's the big what's this give you more than say RP Data does?
Look, every night we get the properties for sale and rent listings from another provider, but it also gives you an email, a mobile number. It gives you, if we own a business, it gives you our social media of a person. And it also gives you court records if somebody's got a lot of court actions, etc. They might.
I mean, I've noticed there, Danny. I mean, when you've so this is quite, guys and girls watching this, just picture the capability that this has got and the application is that Danny's put in his mobile number, and what's come up is properties that he may own. It actually even brings up, it's brought up your date of birth. It's brought up emails. It's brought up. Like, I mean, this is rich information, right?
It's everything. And at the end of the day, if you sold a property to someone 20 years ago and they were 50 years old and you had old details and you couldn't get their current details, if you pumped in their address, you'd be able to find them again. That person's 70 years old. They might have bought a 5-bedroom home 20 years ago. Today, they might be downsizing. So you need to use the data to your advantage. So yeah, I've owned all these properties within this search here, but if you go into the address roll, 12 Yew Hill Road in North Balwyn, it basically shows you everyone else that's in there. So right now, so I sold this property to Tony Russo. So if you were looking at who's there today, this Tony Russo guy's there today. The ticks on the green ticks mean that we've spoken to him within the last 12 months. So he was contacted live on the 10th of May 2022. So we buy call center data every night.
Yes.
And we pump through the system. It's also got the DNCR. So next to the mobile number, you can see if you're allowed to call this person. So we also update the DNCR every month, the do not call register.
Oh, the do not call register.
Correct. So Australia-wide, that's pretty important because at the end of the day, an agent will know how to speak to someone. If they're on the do not call register, it means that you just have to take make the call a non-sales call. Not sort of push down their throat that you're trying to prospect for a listing. Talk to them about it, etc.
Now, Danny, I was just going to ask you because there are a couple of. I mean, when I got first introduced to this, my first instance was this thing might not be legal, but it is legal, correct?
Oh, it's 100% legal. Look, Tom, I've been just a bit of a background. iD4me is the third business like this that I've set up. So in 2011, I set up a company called Mirrors Online, and we were amassing a whole lot of different databases and making them into a single thread. And that was acquired by Equifax. So Equifax, obviously being Equifax, they're not going to buy businesses that have got shonky data. And we've been, we get audited by the likes of, Ernst & Young, et cetera, for our data quality. We also make sure that all our data, we have an origination source. So if there's any complaint on the data, we can go back and say, right, this is why we got your details. This is how we got your details. So there's no issue. We've supplied companies, from your AGLs to your Red Energies to your Lumos to your banks, and we still do. So we supply so we've got different parts of our business. So we supply large data licensing to corporate customers and enterprise. And we have no issues at all with our data. We've been doing it for a long time. And again, we set up another marketing platform back in 2016. It was acquired by Dun & Bradstreet in 2017. So we're pretty much out there with the data game. We know exactly what we're doing. We know exactly where our data comes from, how we put it together, and how we match it to a record. Now, this data is also it's got historical data, and this is where the agents are finding it a benefit because they're able to go back the information they've got on their systems that particularly aren't clean or washed. So they're able to go in there and they're able to put a phone number or a name of somebody, and they're able to then just get the information.
Mate, I've just got to say to you, Danny, for me, right now, the market's changed and we've got, properties that are staying on the market a lot longer. A lot of properties are expiring with the first
100%.
agent. You could be driving down a road, see a property
100%.
on your mobile phone, go into iD4me, straight away have the phone number and ring them up. But I mean, one of the questions that's come up, Danny, is how does this sit with privacy legislation?
It's all privacy compliant. Everything is opted in or inferred opted in. So basically, we acquire the data every night. So we're buying data and we refresh that data monthly. So we have big telco companies that supply us data, big online internet registries, and so on and so forth. You need to have the data originally. So the data originally was amassed over many, many years as legacy data. And what we do, we just keep appending that every day. So as far as the privacy is concerned, there's no privacy. We're fully complying with the ACCC and the Privacy Act. So,
Danny,
we've got thousands of users on this system. So there's about 14 to 16,000 searches a day done on it right now.
Okay, so this is not a guinea pig. This thing's up and running. And okay, now Danny, can I ask you? There's a question here from Justin Lowe. Can it work for commercial contacts and property as well as residential?
Well, it can, because if you look down the screen right now, there's companies that I've owned here. So if you look at that one there, Identity Search, go to Identity Search role. So if you look at that, that shows a business that I've owned, for instance. If you click into the drop down, it can actually show you. It takes you to the website, and then you can have a look at. You can speak to the owner and say, okay, I realise that you might own some commercial property, but we don't actually have. We've done commercial data appending to this, but it's a hit and miss. It depends on what we've got.
Okay. Next question. There's another question here from Sid, and I don't understand what this means. So, do you have access to DNB and other agencies? What's DNB? I'm not quite sure what that is.
Dun & Bradstreet. I know what you're saying. No, we don't. We're suppliers to them.
You're suppliers to them.
We're suppliers to them. So, they're using a lot of our data to get their work. So,
all righty. Is there anything you want to keep sharing on that screen, or do you want to stop the share? It's up to you. Is there more stuff that you want Raul to show us?
We can stop the share. What I wanted to show is basically the full reverse search. So if we can put an address down.
Yeah, put an address down.
Yeah, so 35 Tribeca Circuit, North Lakes in Queensland.
Yeah.
Just get Raul to do that. So it drops down. So if we've got it, it drops down. So it's the second one down. Yeah. So once you click onto that, it shows you basically the information of this property here. So if you go down and you drop down the record, if you go to the property part over there where it says 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, etc. If you click onto the link that Raul's clicking on now, it actually shows you the agents that have got it for sale right now. Now, this is where you're saying about expired listings and the property market's getting tough, so on and so forth. This is where an agent can actually do a bit of background search and find out a bit more about A, who owns the property, B, who's trying to sell the property, and a bit of history about the property. So that also helps.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And the other thing is, like, you can do the, like we said, like the reverse search, and you can just put a name in there. So if we just put a name search, and I'll just do a generic search. Now, we use the latest technology on our software, which means that you can do hundreds of thousands of searches within a second. So if we just put John Smith, for instance, a real generic name.
Yeah.
And we are on Zoom, so it might take a bit longer, but there you go. This is technology that's basically cutting edge at the moment. So you're talking about over 10,000 records that just came up in a second. So we're making sure that we're efficient so that your guys or who are prospecting can actually do the job quickly. So we can put a whole street in. So for instance, if you've gone and sold a property at 12 View Hill Road, which I used to live at, and then you're saying, okay, well, I've got a great result for this property. Now, how can I spread the word without doing a letter drop or without doing an email blast? You can. Sorry, I removed the number. You can actually download the whole street. Right. So the whole street will come up, and then you can go from house to house. So as you go down, the address is kind of. So it also shows who owns businesses and so on and so forth. Okay. So agents are using it for this too. Now I know that there's agents around Australia using this exactly the way I'm showing you right now, because they've sold the property, They got a great result, and they're like, okay, now what they can do, they can actually ring and speak to the person at the property rather than property owner or occupant. So yeah, it's just about it's about getting yourself the ammunition you need before you make the phone call.
Okay, I'm just reading some of the other questions are coming through. I'll try and answer some myself.
Yeah.
It says, hi, Tom and Danny, I notice you have trading name. Does it categorize the business? It says probably not.
No.
Okay, next question.
Look, it might, when you go into the ABN, the ABR, Australian Business Register, it might show what it is.
Does it make an agency compliant with the Privacy Act? You said, yeah, you're not doing anything
100%.
illegal. Then it's got, does it work in New Zealand? Not really, isn't it?
Look, it does work in New Zealand. New Zealand privacy laws are very hard. You can't get emails and mobile numbers. We've got every single address with residence details and their landlines.
Yeah.
But we don't have as much as of the data that I showed you. We have less attributes in New Zealand.
Okay. Next question is, does it work regionally as well as metro areas?
Yes, 100%. It's got every address in Australia. We've got the Australia Post residential address on here. So every address that's deliverable, lots, farms, we've got everything.
Okay, another question from anonymous attendee. What makes ID more accurate than the likes of Pricefinder and RP Data? And by the way, I don't think you're going to cancel RP Data or Pricefinder necessarily if you're a real estate agent, right? But what are the things that I mean, and you did touch on it, what does ID provide you in addition to RP Data and Pricefinder?
Well, RP Data is only going to give you the information of when someone's selling a property.
Yeah.
They'll give you their name, their date of birth, maybe, or their mobile number, email. We're actually amassing the data of occupants in that property and also from other different sources. So, we use like 50 sources to get our data. With RP Data and Pricefinder, you're probably not going to get the abundance of phone numbers, emails, mobiles, and so on and so forth. Okay,
Jackie Jones says, with the name of John Smith search, 10,000 records were there. So wondering why it was only showed 21. I think it did. I don't think that's right, Jackie. It showed more than 21, didn't it?
No, each page is 21. You've got to scroll down.
Okay, so Jackie.
What we can do, I mean, once you start using it, you can put John Smith and you can put New South Wales and you can put Campbell and you can put, the street. So you can actually drill that right down to the record you want. I was just showing you the speed of it and how much data we've got in it. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Sid then's asked another question. Does it have a complete range of data like phone number, email, work detail, companies? So it's varying pieces of data, is it? Complete.
It's varying pieces of data. It's very rich in name, phone number, mobile, email, and mobile number. Then we do have places of employment on there too, depending on the search that you're doing. So you'll find some searches will say the person works at Sunglass Hut in Sydney, something like that.
So then we've got another anonymous attendee. If a homeowner asks us, how did you get my number? Well, my response to that is whatever you're saying to them at the moment when you're contacting them with CoreLogic RP Data, that would be it. I mean, the issue here is you don't call the do not call register and they're identified there. The rest of the stuff, there is nothing illegal about it from what you're saying to me, Danny. That's public information. Yep. Kylie Dracos is saying, can we download the data? What does it download?
You can actually download the records. If you want us to go back on and share the screen, we can show you how that's done. So if you tick on those on the side there, and then you go into your PDF icon, or your print or your Excel, it does all three.
Pretty impressed with this. Gives you Excel, print option, or put it in a PDF. That's it, winner. You're going to be bombarded with people. You're going to be bombarded because this solves a big problem in real estate. Yep. There you go. It's populated the document here, which is an Excel document.
Correct. And I think we only allow 100 at a time. Otherwise, we don't want people to take advantage of our data. We need to protect the data also. Especially if you're forwarding costs to your customer, it might be good to print off a PDF about your marketing if you're going to market the whole street, etc. So you can use this to talk to the customer that's selling a property and say, well, we can market to all these people within the street, and that's the PDF.
Now, Kristen says, can it do a CMA? Well, listen, I doubt it does a CMA, but that's why you've got CoreLogic RP data, right? What you're doing is when you're thinking of selling a property with a vendor, you know what I mean, Danny, by CMA, what they do is they provide a report of comparable sales, a submission, right?
No, we don't do that.
No, that's not there. Then we've got, I think, better than RP data. Raj, look, it's got a lot of stuff that RP data doesn't have, but I'm actually thinking for a lot of the function of your real estate work, including the CMAs, you probably are going to need that.
I would say this is just a tool to enhance, your listings.
Joe's asking, what is the data download limit?
I think it's 100 per session.
Right.
So
I'm just having a look. There's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of questions here, but you know what? I reckon that I want to ask you, what does the model look like? How much? So what is it? It's a yearly fee? Is it a monthly fee?
Look, it's a monthly fee. It's a monthly fee or a half yearly or an annual. So you're getting a discount either way. Obviously, it's $130 per month per user per login.
Yes.
So no shared logins because of the duty of care, etc., within the privacy of people's businesses.
So it's 130 and it's a single user, right?
Correct.
It's a single user. And what do you mean about the duty of care? Explain that.
Well, the duty of care is that if you're sharing a login in your office with other people, and we can't stop that, but what happens is if someone's trying to find their ex-wife, or if someone's trying to do a favour for a mate, and that happens a lot. We know the industry very, very well. Not in your industry, but it happens in other industries that we provide to. The duty of care is back to the person that's got the login and agreed to the first time. So if the police get involved or if something happens to somebody, then you're responsible for that. And then you've got to work out why it happened and why you shared the login and so on and so forth.
Okay. And now, Danny, it's 130 a month.
Yep.
You get a discount if you do 6 months. You get a discount if you pay yearly.
Correct.
And I'll leave that for you to take up with the people.
Yep.
You got to understand, a lot of real estate agents, I wouldn't call them Australia's best tech experts. When they subscribe, what's the learning period? And is there an onboard period? How do they learn how to use it?
Look, it takes like 5 minutes. We've got manuals. Once they log in and they get into the site, there's a help section with manuals, videos, everything. So it's very, very simple to use. Very simple.
Okay. Another question is, how do they join? How do they get it on board?
There's a lot of people they can join online. If they're going to book in for demos with Raul and Frank, then they can join through them. Yeah. Or they can just go online after this seminar to iD4me. Can I just show them where to do it?
Yes, please.
So if you go to sign up.
Yep.
The agents will be directed to a PayPal, so sign up brand new. So they'll put their details in there. So once they go in there and they just go to sign up, they'll be then prompted to take which option that they want. There they are there. So 130 per month, and every month that renews. 110 would be for the annual. Yeah. And then 120 for the biannual. So the annual, at the end of the day, it's 13. I think it works out to about 13.20 per annum per agent. The feedback I'm getting, some people are listing, anywhere from $500 to $3 million properties a month on it. So one sale of a property, that commission alone, it's sort of the cost is pretty negligible. So I would suggest, from my point of view, and not to have any issues logging in every month, because if PayPal try to get money out of your account and it's not there, then you won't be able to get back on until the money comes back through. Okay, Danny, if they need to speak to someone before, is there any way they contact anyone before they come on, and Susan can put any contact details 100%. In the chat box? If we go back to the website, see, they get started with a demo. All they need to do is click that button. It takes them to our calendar. Yes. And they can just book in a meeting with Frank and Raul, depending on who's available. Using Calendly. Got you. Okay, beautiful. So we're fully covered as far as onboarding. And it's a very simple process. Very simple. So Danny, what I intend to do with you is over the
the coming months, I'd love to be able to maybe have you back on and have a real estate agent that's using the product and talk about 2 or 3 things that they're currently doing that's making them money, because I want to be able not only what I love, Danny, is adopting technology is one thing, but maximizing technology is another. And what I want to go into is maximization of the technology, you know?
And one thing I wanted to sort of jump on, which we didn't speak about, is when a lot of agents are using it opens. So they've got their tablet there. So I walk into an open, I give them my mobile number and my name, they pump it in and they can see I'm from North Baldwin, Abbotsford, and they can sort of, you know, say the property's for sale in Hawthorne. So I'm in Hawthorne and I live within that area, so they know that I'm probably a fair income buyer. Another guy comes in and he puts his mobile and then he's from, you know, let's say from Craigieburn. You know, who is the agent going to concentrate on? And that sort of saves a lot of time. A lot of agents are using that at the point of entry for the open for inspections.
Got you.
So they're able to then get a picture of the person that's walked in without the person even knowing that they know about them. So,
Danny, you know, when I was in real estate, do you know? So there's a rule in real estate: powerful lists equal powerful results.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
You know, when I was in real estate, Danny, I would have to drive down streets, take numbers down, then go to the council, sit there at the council, pay them money while I'm manually writing records. Man, this thing here, if this was around there, because I've got to tell you, I think there's no such thing as a sloppy agent. There's just sloppy systems, sloppy data, sloppy lists. You know, this will help you actually make the call. It won't make the call itself, but it's going to help you make the call.
Correct. Even you know, old investors that you've sold to before, who, you know, you haven't spoken to in a long time, you know, throw their number in there, see where they are, see if a new detail comes up, and get on the phone. You never know when someone wants to buy.
I've got to tell you, right now, you want to grow your rent roll, team, you go put in some of your landlords in there. You might find they own multiple properties and other agents are managing these properties, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All righty, Danny, an absolute pleasure. Every so often, there's a tech tool there that is not bleeding edge, it's cutting edge. And I think iD4me, and I can tell you, I'm just getting feedback from the clients that I've been trialing it with for the last 6-8 weeks. They're raving about it.
Yeah, look, it's a great product, and you know, we wanted to get into the real estate industry for a long time because we were providers of the data. So we provided CoreLogic, we provided On the House, we were the main provider of all the data back then. Right. So we thought, you know, why not? We'll get into this industry and see how we go.
All right, Danny. To everyone there listening in, hit them up. Signing off.
Thanks, guys. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.